The history of the United Kingdom is a vast and intricate tapestry, woven from the threads of countless civilizations, cultures, and epochs. From the ancient tribes of the British Isles to the global superpower of the modern era, the story of the United Kingdom is one of resilience, innovation, and evolution. As we embark on this exploration of the United Kingdom's history, we peel back the layers of time to reveal the rich tapestry of events, people, and ideas that have shaped this remarkable nation. Spanning thousands of years and encompassing a diverse array of peoples and cultures, the history of the United Kingdom is a testament to the enduring spirit of human endeavor. From the earliest settlements of the Celts and Romans to the heights of the British Empire and beyond, the United Kingdom has played a pivotal role in shaping the course of world history. As we delve into the annals of time, we will encounter legendary figures, epic battles, and transformative moments that have left an indelible mark on the landscape of the British Isles and the world at large. Welcome to Chronicles of the Ages. Let's journey through time as we unravel the mysteries and marvels of the United Kingdom's past and discover the enduring legacy of this extraordinary nation. The British Isles have been inhabited for millennia, with evidence of human presence dating back to the Paleolithic era. However, it was during the Iron Age that significant settlement and cultural development occurred, as Celtic tribes migrated to the region from continental Europe. These tribes, including the Britons, the Gaels, and the Picts, brought with them their unique languages, customs, and traditions, shaping the early social fabric of the British Isles. The Iron Age saw the construction of impressive hill forts, such as Maiden Castle in present-day Dorset and Dunad in Scotland, serving as centers of power and defense for local chieftains. These hill forts, often situated in strategic locations, provided protection against rival tribes and potential invaders, while also serving as hubs of trade and social exchange. Additionally, the Celts developed sophisticated metalworking techniques, producing intricate jewelry, weaponry, and other artifacts that reflected their artistic and technological prowess. The legacy of the Celtic tribes can still be seen today in place names, folklore, and archaeological sites across the British Isles, underscoring their enduring impact on the region's cultural heritage. The Roman conquest of Britain in AD 43 marked a profound turning point in the history of the British Isles, ushering in an era of unprecedented cultural and technological exchange. Under Roman rule, Britannia became a prosperous province of the vast Roman Empire, benefiting from the construction of roads, cities, and fortifications that transformed the landscape of the island. One of the most enduring legacies of the Roman occupation was the establishment of urban centers such as Londinium, modern-day London, Eboracum, York, and Verulamium, St. Albans, which served as hubs of commerce, administration, and culture. These cities boasted impressive architecture, including temples, amphitheaters, and bathhouses, showcasing the advanced engineering and architectural skills of the Roman builders. In addition to the physical infrastructure, the Romans also introduced new technologies, agricultural practices, and legal systems to Britain, laying the foundations for future developments in governance and industry. The spread of Christianity, brought to Britain by Roman missionaries and traders, further transformed the religious landscape of the island, paving the way for the eventual conversion of the Anglo-Saxon kingdoms in the centuries that followed. Despite the eventual decline and withdrawal of Roman forces from Britain in the early 5th century, the legacy of Roman rule endured, shaping the language, culture, and identity of the British people for centuries to come. Following the collapse of Roman rule in Britain in the 5th century, the British Isles entered a period of significant upheaval and transformation. In the wake of the Roman withdrawal, waves of Germanic tribes from the European mainland including the Angles, Saxons, and Jutes, migrated to Britain, seeking new lands and opportunities. These tribes brought with them their language, culture, and social structures, laying the foundation for what would become known as the Anglo-Saxon era. The Anglo-Saxon period, which lasted from the 5th to the 11th centuries, witnessed the emergence of a patchwork of independent kingdoms across the British Isles, each ruled by its own king or warlord. Among the most prominent of these kingdoms were Wessex, Mercia, Northumbria, and East Anglia. These kingdoms were characterized by a blend of Germanic and Celtic influences, as well as remnants of Roman civilization, creating a rich and diverse cultural landscape. The Anglo-Saxon era also saw the spread of Christianity throughout Britain, as missionaries from Rome and Ireland sought to convert the pagan inhabitants of the island. Monasteries and churches were established, serving as centers of learning, culture, and religious devotion. Despite the challenges of invasion and internal strife, the Anglo-Saxon kingdoms flourished, laying the groundwork for the emergence of a unified English nation in the centuries to come. In the late 8th and early 9th centuries, the British Isles were plunged into turmoil as waves of Viking raiders from Scandinavia descended upon its shores. Fierce and relentless, these Norse warriors struck fear into the hearts of coastal communities as they pillaged and plundered with impunity. Known for their mastery of seafaring and their ferocious combat skills, the Vikings launched lightning-fast raids along the coasts of England, Scotland, and Ireland, targeting monasteries, towns, and wealthy estates in search of riches and glory. The Viking invasions were not merely acts of wanton violence. They were part of a larger pattern of expansion and exploration that characterized Norse society during this period. Motivated by a desire for wealth, land, and adventure, Viking raiders ventured far beyond their native shores, establishing settlements and trading networks throughout Europe and beyond. In addition to their prowess as warriors, the Vikings were skilled craftsmen, traders, and navigators, contributing to the cultural and economic exchange that characterized the medieval world. Despite the devastation wrought by their raids, the Vikings also left a lasting legacy on the British Isles, shaping its language, culture, and institutions in ways that endure to this day. The year 1066 marked a watershed moment in English history with the Norman conquest, a pivotal event that forever altered the course of the nation. Following the death of Edward the Confessor, the last Anglo-Saxon king of England, a succession crisis ensued, culminating in the fateful Battle of Hastings. At Hastings, the forces of William the Conqueror, Duke of Normandy, clashed with those of Harold Godwinson, the newly crowned Anglo-Saxon king. Despite Harold's valiant efforts, William emerged victorious, claiming the English crown and solidifying Norman rule over England. The Norman conquest brought sweeping changes to England, as William and his Norman followers implemented a centralized system of governance and imposed feudalism on the English landscape. Castles, cathedrals, and monasteries sprang up across the countryside, symbols of Norman power and authority. The Domesday Book, a comprehensive survey of land ownership and resources commissioned by William, provided valuable insights into the economic and social landscape of England. Additionally, the Normans introduced the French language and legal system to England, laying the foundations for the development of English common law and the emergence of a distinct Anglo-Norman culture. Despite initial resistance from the Anglo-Saxon population, the Norman conquest ultimately laid the groundwork for the emergence of England as a unified and powerful nation in the centuries to come. The Plantagenet dynasty, which ruled England from the late 12th to the late 15th centuries, stands as one of the most influential and consequential periods in British history. The dynasty's name derives from the emblematic Plantagenet, a sprig of broom, or Plantagenista, worn by its earliest prominent member, Geoffrey V of Anjou. Under the Plantagenet monarchs, England experienced both periods of stability and tumult, as the realm grappled with internal strife, external threats, and the ever-evolving dynamics of medieval European politics. One of the defining features of the Plantagenet era was the series of conflicts known as the 100 Years' War, waged intermittently between England and France from 1337 to 1453. The war, which originated from disputes over territorial claims and succession to the French throne, saw England under the leadership of monarchs such as Edward III, Henry V, and Henry VI, engage in protracted military campaigns on French soil. Iconic battles such as Crécy, Poitiers, and Agincourt showcased the military prowess of the English armies, while also exacting a heavy toll on both sides. Despite initial English successes, the 100 Years' War ultimately ended in defeat for England, with the loss of most of its French territories, marking the beginning of the decline of the Plantagenet dynasty and paving the way for the Wars of the Roses. The Tudor dynasty, which reigned over England from the late 15th to the early 17th centuries, heralded a period of cultural, political, and economic growth known as the Tudor Renaissance. Under the rule of monarchs such as Henry VII, Henry VIII, and Elizabeth I, England experienced a flowering of art, literature, and exploration that left an indelible mark on the nation's history. One of the most significant developments of the Tudor Renaissance was the English Reformation, initiated by Henry VIII in the 16th century. Henry's break from the Roman Catholic Church and the establishment of the Church of England had profound consequences for English society, leading to religious upheaval, political turmoil, and the emergence of new forms of religious expression. The Tudor era also saw a remarkable expansion of England's influence on the world stage, as explorers such as John Cabot, Sir Walter Raleigh, and Sir Francis Drake ventured into uncharted territories and established colonies in the New World. The reign of Elizabeth I, in particular, is often regarded as a golden age in English history, marked by a flourishing of literature, art, and theater. The plays of William Shakespeare, the poetry of Edmund Spenser, and the music of composers such as Thomas Tallis and William Byrd all flourished during this period, contributing to the cultural richness and diversity of Tudor England. Additionally, the Elizabethan era saw England emerge as a major naval and colonial power, with the defeat of the Spanish Armada in 1588, cementing England's status as a dominant force in European politics and paving the way for the expansion of English influence overseas. The Stuart dynasty, which ruled England from the early 17th to the early 18th centuries, presided over a period of profound political and religious upheaval. The reign of James I, who succeeded Elizabeth I in 1603, saw tensions between the monarchy and parliament, as well as growing religious divisions within the realm. James's insistence on the divine right of kings and his attempts to impose absolutist rule sparked resistance from Parliament, leading to clashes over issues such as taxation, religious freedom, and the limits of royal power. These tensions would come to a head during the reign of James's son, Charles I, whose authoritarian policies and attempts to rule without Parliament ultimately precipitated the English Civil War. The English Civil War, fought between 1642 and 1651, pitted supporters of the monarchy, known as royalists or cavaliers, against parliamentarians, who sought to curb the power of the king and uphold the rights of Parliament. Led by Oliver Cromwell, the parliamentarians emerged victorious, culminating in the execution of King Charles I in 1649 and the establishment of the Commonwealth under Cromwell's rule. The Commonwealth, which lasted until 1660, marked a dramatic shift in the balance of power in England, as the monarchy was abolished and replaced with a republican government. However, Cromwell's rule was marked by authoritarianism and religious repression, leading to widespread discontent and the eventual restoration of the monarchy under Charles II in 1660. The Glorious Revolution of 1688 was a watershed moment in English history, marking the culmination of decades of political and religious turmoil and paving the way for the establishment of constitutional monarchy. At the heart of the revolution was the struggle between King James II, a Catholic monarch intent on asserting royal absolutism, and a coalition of Protestant nobles and parliamentarians determined to uphold the rights and liberties of the English people. The crisis came to a head with the birth of James's son, who was widely believed to be the heir to the throne, and raised concerns among Protestant leaders about the prospect of a Catholic dynasty ruling England. In response to James's increasingly autocratic rule and his attempts to promote Catholicism in England, a group of nobles and parliamentarians invited William of Orange, a Protestant prince from the Netherlands and husband of James's Protestant daughter Mary, to invade England and assume the throne. William's invasion met with little resistance, as many English nobles and soldiers defected to his cause, and James fled into exile in France. The Glorious Revolution culminated in the Bill of Rights of 1689, which affirmed parliamentary supremacy, limited the powers of the monarchy, and guaranteed fundamental rights such as freedom of speech and the right to petition the government. The revolution laid the foundations for modern constitutional monarchy in England and set a precedent for peaceful regime change through parliamentary means. The 18th and 19th centuries witnessed the zenith of British imperial power as England embarked on a relentless expansion of its global influence through trade, colonization, and conquest. The British Empire, often described as the empire on which the sun never sets, stretched across continents and oceans, encompassing territories as far-flung as India, Africa, the Caribbean, and the Pacific. At its peak, the British Empire covered nearly a quarter of the world's land area and boasted a population of over 400 million people, making it the largest empire in history. The expansion of the British Empire was driven by a combination of economic interests, geopolitical strategy, and ideological imperatives. British merchants and traders sought new markets and sources of raw materials to fuel the burgeoning Industrial Revolution, while British naval power ensured the security of trade routes and protected British interests overseas. Additionally, the spread of British culture, language, and institutions played a crucial role in the projection of British power, as the values of liberalism, capitalism, and Protestantism were exported to every corner of the globe. However, the British Empire was also characterized by exploitation and oppression, as colonial subjects were subjugated to British rule and subjected to economic exploitation, cultural assimilation, and political repression. Despite its undeniable impact on the course of world history, the legacy of the British Empire remains a subject of debate and controversy, as historians and scholars continue to grapple with its complex and multifaceted effects on the peoples and nations it ruled. The Industrial Revolution, which began in the late 18th century, was a transformative period in British history that ushered in unprecedented economic, social, and technological change. Fueled by advances in machinery, steam power, and manufacturing processes, the Industrial Revolution revolutionized the way goods were produced and consumed, leading to a dramatic increase in productivity and efficiency. Key innovations, such as the steam engine, developed by engineers like James Watt, powered new modes of transportation and drove the expansion of industries such as textiles, iron, and coal mining. The effects of the Industrial Revolution were felt across all aspects of society, from urbanization and population growth to changes in labor practices and social relations. As factories and mills sprang up in industrial centers like Manchester, Birmingham, and Glasgow, rural workers flocked to cities in search of employment, leading to the rapid growth of urban populations. However, this influx of workers also resulted in overcrowded and unsanitary living conditions, giving rise to social problems such as poverty, disease, and crime. Additionally, the shift from agrarian to industrial economies brought profound changes to traditional ways of life, as communities adapted to new modes of production and consumption. Despite these challenges, the Industrial Revolution laid the groundwork for the modern world, shaping the trajectory of British society and economy for centuries to come. The 20th century brought unprecedented upheaval and devastation to the United Kingdom, as the nation found itself embroiled in two catastrophic world wars that reshaped the course of history. World War I, also known as the Great War, erupted in 1914 following the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand of Austria-Hungary. The conflict quickly escalated into a global conflagration, with Britain and its allies, including France and Russia, facing off against the Central Powers, led by Germany and Austria-Hungary. The war brought unimaginable suffering and loss to the people of Britain, as millions of soldiers were killed or wounded on the battlefields of Europe, and civilian populations endured the hardships of rationing, bombing raids, and economic upheaval. The aftermath of World War I saw the collapse of empires, the redrawing of borders, and the emergence of new geopolitical realities. Britain, once the preeminent power in the world, found itself grappling with the challenges of post-war reconstruction and the decline of its empire. However, the peace that followed the Great War was short-lived, as the specter of fascism and aggression loomed large on the horizon. In 1939, the world was once again plunged into conflict with the outbreak of World War II, as Nazi Germany, under the leadership of Adolf Hitler, launched a blitzkrieg invasion of Poland. Britain, along with its allies, including the United States and the Soviet Union, fought valiantly against the Axis powers, enduring the Blitz, the Battle of Britain, and the horrors of the Holocaust. The sacrifices of the British people during World War II, including the heroism of the Royal Air Force and the resilience of the civilian population, epitomized the spirit of courage and determination that would ultimately lead to victory and the dawn of a new era in world history. The end of World War II brought both relief and challenges to the United Kingdom, as the nation sought to rebuild amidst the rubble and devastation of war. The Labour government, led by Prime Minister Clement Attlee, embarked on an ambitious program of reconstruction and reform, laying the foundations for the modern welfare state. Central to this effort was the establishment of the National Health Service, NHS, in 1948, a groundbreaking initiative that provided free healthcare for all citizens regardless of their ability to pay. The NHS represented a fundamental shift in social policy, embodying the principle of universal access to healthcare and serving as a beacon of hope and solidarity in the post-war era. In addition to the creation of the NHS, the post-war period saw the nationalization of key industries such as coal, steel, and transportation, as the government sought to address the inequalities and inefficiencies of the pre-war economic system. These measures, combined with the implementation of social welfare programs and the expansion of public housing, helped to mitigate the impact of wartime austerity and lay the groundwork for a more egalitarian society. However, the post-war era was also marked by challenges, including the decline of the British Empire and the emergence of new geopolitical realities. Decolonization, the process by which colonial territories gained independence, accelerated in the years following World War II, leading to the dismantling of the British Empire and the loss of imperial prestige and power. Despite these challenges, the post-war era witnessed a period of unprecedented social and economic progress in the United Kingdom, as the nation sought to build a brighter future in the aftermath of war. The latter half of the 20th century ushered in a period of profound change and transformation for the United Kingdom, as the nation grappled with the challenges of a rapidly evolving global landscape. The swinging 60s brought a cultural revolution to England, as the country embraced new forms of music, fashion, and entertainment. From the rise of iconic bands like the Beatles to the emergence of the miniskirt and psychedelic art, the 60s represented a seismic shift in social norms and values, as a younger generation rebelled against the conservatism of the past and embraced a spirit of experimentation and liberation. However, the optimism and idealism of the 60s gave way to the economic and political turmoil of the 70s, as England faced a series of crises, including stagflation, labor strikes, and conflicts in Northern Ireland. The election of Margaret Thatcher and the Conservative Party in 1979 marked a turning point in British politics, as Thatcher pursued a program of neoliberal reforms aimed at deregulating the economy, reducing the power of trade unions, and privatizing state-owned industries. Thatcher's policies, known as Thatcherism, brought about significant changes in the British economy and society, leading to a period of economic growth and prosperity, but also exacerbating social inequality and polarization. The legacy of Thatcherism continues to shape British politics and society to this day, as England grapples with the enduring consequences of her policies. In the 21st century, England continues to navigate the complexities of a rapidly changing world, grappling with issues such as Brexit, immigration, and the rise of populism. However, the rich tapestry of history that defines the United Kingdom endures, shaping the nation's identity and inspiring its people to confront the challenges of the future with courage and resilience. As England looks to the horizon, it does so with the knowledge that its history is not just a story of triumphs and tragedies, but a testament to the indomitable spirit of human aspiration and the enduring quest for freedom and justice. Please like and subscribe to the channel.